And therefore I'm terribly sorry. Yeah, I speak English and German, but the presentation will be in German. And yeah, as Revista Minerios prepared very well, there is a translation, and Larissa in the back is doing a wonderful job. I know her from last year already, so thank you very much, Larissa. But now let's quickly start. Yeah, I don't know whether you know RWE. RWE is owning and operating the largest open pit mine in the European Union. In total, we operate 3 mines. The largest one is the Hambach mine. It has a size of 35 square kilometers. And today we are talking about how we, and therefore you also, can save costs when it comes to the mine closing and rehabilitation. And I think this is a topic that is also slowly becoming an issue here in Brazil, as it is all over the world. As you can see on the picture, this is the outside waste material dump of the Hambach mine, our mine there. And we are very proud that although this outside dump is still under operation, some parts started to we started rehabilitation 45 years ago already, as you can see, and they have now such a high biodiversity that we get also awarded by the United Nations Decade on Biodiversity very few years ago. So how do we do it? Yeah, this is the Hambach mine, as said, the largest mine in the European Union, open cast mine, very close to the local population, to communities, and on the right side you can see the outside dump, which is the Sophienhöhe, which you just saw. The mine itself is around 430 meters deep, still in operation another 5 years, then we will stop the coal mining due to the coal phase out in Germany. Yeah, the RWE, or especially RWE technology, we are also providing every now and then engineering consulting services, so we supported also a couple of mining companies here in Brazil, as well as in Chile, for example, when we look into South America, in various services, not just in the mine closing, but also in operational excellence and dust emission reduction and so on and so forth. So I think this is the most important slide of the entire presentation from me. Why is it so? As you can see, this is Germany. In the western part, number 1, 2, 3, this is our mines, where RWE is operating. On the eastern part, the other numbers are in the former eastern part of Germany, so this was the part that was split until 1990. And they also have open cast coal mines there. And we have the unique situation in Germany that we can compare the costs, because in the western part, so where RWE operates the mines, the rehabilitation of the mines also started in the 1920s, and since then was continuously ongoing under the responsibility of RWE, directly during the mining, and then we were also responsible to do the mine closing. In the eastern part, the mines of similar size of RWE have, during the GDR regime, so the socialist regime, not been rehabilitated as we do it. They basically just operated and operated and operated and thought, well, one day we will cure the whole thing. However, one day was the reunification, and mining in some of the mine immediately stopped because the whole situation changed, as you can imagine. However, then the industry at this and the companies that operated it, they suddenly vanished from one day to the other. Yeah? And then the rehabilitation of these devastated, mined out areas have been taken over, or the responsibility, by the German government. And therefore, we know exactly what money they spend in the last 30 years or 35 years. And if we only look, for example, in this very eastern part, what we call here the Lausitzer Revier, and these numbers are publicly available, the German government had to spend for the mine closing in 30 years or about 30 years, 5 billion euros, which according to the current exchange rate is 27, 28 billion reais. And when I was talking to our mining experts, my colleagues in the mines actually, we say in our operation and by the process and the continuity of mining and closing, we saved at least half of this amount, which is quite a number if you save 2.5 billion euros actually, because also in Germany, in the mining operation, you need to be very profitable and you want to save a lot of money. So this is really a unique situation that we can compare these figures. So how do we do it and what do we do it? You can realize here, just to give you an impression, these are our 3 mines in the western parts of Germany. The Mina Hambach is this very big one that you just saw. And you may sense already where 120 years ago we started mining and how we rehabilitated it, which is in the very south. If I push here, then you see it, but you could also sense it's very green there. So you can see the rehabilitation includes nowadays agricultural areas, few industrial areas, a German no speed limit highway, there is a river diversion going through the rehabilitated area, a lot of forests, so everything that you basically can imagine is on this rehabilitated land. So I don't go into the details of this in the next slides, but the most important thing is that you need to have, and most important to save the costs basically, you need to have a plan for the rehabilitation already during the actual mining operation, that you can directly utilize the actual mining operation and some waste material, for example, for the rehabilitation, the later rehabilitation, and you can also, the closer you come to the end, also change your actual mining process in such a way that, for example, the slopes are already formed in such a way that you do not have to touch them later on separately during the closing. Because, for example, your equipment is then already gone, and then you realize, oh, I would need it again, and therefore you have to bring it back to the mine. Or you have some waste material that, for example, you carry somewhere and then you realize, oh no, I could have put it somewhere else for direct rehabilitation, but you can imagine, well, you all know, every time you touch material, it costs you a hell lot of money. So there are a couple of things that you need to consider. You can read it. I would assume, or I do assume, that you get this presentation later on. But as said, the most important thing is consider the mine closing as soon as possible in your mining operation. In Germany, we do, and we also have to do anyway, during the permitting and then also start of the mining process, already consider. And this is one example of one area, so it's not one plan for the entire area that you saw, but it's also in sequences. And for one area here, you can see it. Before we started the actual digging of the material, so the actual excavation and the mining, which was in the 1950s, we already made a rough plan what in the end the area will look like after the rehabilitation. And then during the mining itself, this was continuously also in discussion with the authorities and the communities, detailed to adapt according to maybe some changing needs in infrastructure, to build a new road or whatever. And then we can already prepare for the closing, or when we come closer to the end of the mine life actually, prepare this, and then you can see even another 20, 30 years later that it really looked like what we planned already 20, 30 years or even 50 years before. And that is really important, that you have all the mining, all the long-term planning including the mine closing. And to do so, naturally, yeah, you need to also have a very good plan of your mine. Yeah? You need to have a plan what material you will mine out, what is the waste material, what is the plan for the mining itself, and then also you need to have a plan where to dump it. In this case, it's in the same mine, but we are lucky we have various mines in close vicinity, so sometimes you also take waste material from the one mine to the other mine. In the end, yeah, I said 5 years from now we will stop the coal mining because these are all coal mines, and therefore in the end this large mine will look like this. It will be a lake. It will actually be the second largest lake in Germany. And also this, although this is only happening in 5 years from now, that we start to fill the water, because we take water from a river there to fill it, we are now already preparing that. And we also prepare, does this work? Where is this? Is this? No, that was the wrong one. It's okay. So you can see at the lower left, yeah, what looks like there. It will be a new industrial and residential area is at the moment our coal stockyard. And it's already now clear what it later will be. So we will also prepare in the closing process this area accordingly. So also we save money, we don't have anything double. And that is what it will look like. As said in the left, this is at the moment our coal stockyard. Later on it will be a new industrial and residential area, including a train connection for going to the big cities which are next to them, because we own and operate a train line and the tracks will stay there for later use for public transport. What is important, apart from having this long planning and this long horizon of planning, you also need to incorporate this in your organization. So that is a scheme of our actual organization chart in this, in the coal area, in the mining area, and you see the future, the closing and the future use of the mines. So this department is reporting to the same executive officer as the operational team does. And they are in constant exchange on what are the needs for the later closing and the needs for the actual operation, so they can make the best out of it. Yeah? But that is really important. So that is basically the end of the presentation. I do have 2 minutes. I have a little movie. Please change the movie to the movie. It's actually 8 minutes long. No worries. I will not take all the minutes. I will skip a little bit, but I will give you an impression on what it actually looks like. Okay. The movie is actually in Portuguese, but because I skip it, some things I asked them not to have the volume on, but I speak in English anyway. If it is there. And this is also, this movie is already prepared also for the communities around, so that we explain to them why we do something the way we do it and what it will look later. So community involvement is another thing. It's very, very important, because especially you saw we mined there a long stretch of area, and we are operating in the same region for 120 years. If you do not have a good relationship to the communities, you do have problems in getting the permits for further extending. You need 5 more minutes. For me it's fine, but Guillermo probably, and who is after me? Let's see. Yeah, as said, you need a very good relationship to the communities and also to the authorities, otherwise, well, you cannot move on. And because actually for RWE, mining is only secondary, because we are actually the largest power generator in Germany. We need the coal for the power generation. So if we would not be allowed to move on with the coal mining, we have a problem with our core business, because the power stations that utilize this coal are designed very specifically for this type of coal. So we could not even say, we are not allowed to mine So we source the coal from wherever, South Africa and so on. I know my time is over, but the movie is not there. So that is why I keep on speaking and speaking and speaking, making the most of it. Okay, that's cool to see myself. Wonderful, love that. But actually I would prefer to see the movie. To this picture, this is also a rehabilitated mining area. That's, the fields are rehabilitated. The river is on rehabilitated land, so the original river was, well, crossing our mine pit. That's what we don't want to do. This is part of the movie, so we quickly start. So this is the Sophienhöhe, this largest, yeah, you see, community involvement is very important. This is, maybe you stop quickly. Now too late, doesn't matter. Now we move on. Yeah, you can see all this is all rehabilitation. Let move. What minute are we? Go to the second slot that I asked or that I noted down. Okay, yeah, this is, we make use until the water level rises, which takes 60 years. We make use of the slopes for installing photovoltaic panels. Later on, these will be floating photovoltaic panels. This is all rehabilitated mine. Here you can see, yeah, is also rehabilitation of the fields we make use. Agriculture, which is very important here. I've been to Paracatu and I fly from here to there. It's a lot of agriculture, so it may be important. Go a bit faster, go a bit faster. I actually want to show you, this is all what we do around the mine. Maybe once more, faster, faster, faster. No. Yeah. Go there. Okay, this is the entrance. Now you see our slopes. So this is the original slopes, but they are naturally too steep later on if there is water. This is all soft rock. And now what you can see is that, we are already now preparing these mine slopes. So what we do, because we have to reduce the inclination naturally, and because there is, as you could see, the village right next to it, so you cannot shift the border of the mine. So what we have to do, we have to backfill a little bit. So what do we do? Whereas at the one side of the mine we still mine coal and therefore also overburdened waste material, at this side of the mine we already put the waste material, and that is what I mean. You need to know what you have and you need to incorporate that. So this is the area, actually the plan, how we do it, where we take the material away and where we need other material. But this large mountain, so the Sophienhöhe, this outside dump actually, because some people ask us, so you have big material there, so why don't you use this one? I will show this in a second. The major reason, well, there are two major reasons. One is the kind of material, so you need to find the right material to do so. The second reason is the biodiversity, because you did see we get awarded for the high biodiversity, so naturally we do not want to destroy this biodiversity area again. So this is the entire mining area. To the upper left you can see which is the Sophienhöhe, this outside dump, Floresta de Hambach. A couple of years ago we had big protests because the original plan was to move forward. And we would have needed to cut it down, but then came the coal phase out and we can leave it. However, this put us under pressure because we needed to change our entire mine plan. So now let me see. I know, I'm okay. Yeah, this is some pictures. I think what we will do, maybe you stop now the movie here because it would go on. But I don't want to take more time from the last one, and it's also a long day. You can always contact Guilherme from Revista Minerios. You can also contact me. And if you want to learn more or want to see the whole movie, you can also go to our website. So, muito obrigado. Foi grande prazer. And yeah, thank you very much.